So yesterday I finished telling y'all that story about the dude trying to take my seat in the dining hall. So this is at that same prison because I had been there for like 26 months. And so, well, that was like total. So while I was still there, something else that was pretty violent. This was a violent yard. Like I said, you know, it's kind of like considered like a gladiator school. And so anyway, this one Jewish dude, he got killed. He worked in the laundry room. His job was to hand out clothing issue to other inmates. So about every 6 months, inmates are allowed to go and exchange their clothing. And he would not always exchange everything. He would exchange a few things and then send you back with most of what you came with. These old dingy teabag looking t-shirts and these boxers, just, you know what I mean? The boxers got several other numbers stamped in them. You know what I mean? So you down there just swinging where it's already been swung and carrying on. But anyway, there's that, you know what I mean? And so this dude wouldn't always exchange stuff. He would, you know, be like, no, whatever. So one time, this other dude that also worked in the laundry room, when he knew that this other inmate was going to be coming to exchange some stuff, they had it worked out. So when that dude showed up, he went and exchanged out new stuff for that old stuff. And so that main dude, he got mad. And so he told, even though no rules was broken, he just exchanged clothes for equal value, but he exchanged clothes, you know, not equal value, but as far as the, you know, the quantity. Anyway, so when he told, the Aryan Brotherhood are considered to be, you know, he's their responsibility, you know, although he's of Jewish descent, and there he was just considered to be a white guy. So, so they put a hit out on him, and it was carried out real quick. So what they had did was, they had some other guys that lived in the same pod. They was also Aryan Brotherhood. They lived in that same pod, and they told them, you know, it was gonna be, it was either lunch or dinner. It might have been dinner. I think it was dinner. They told them at dinner, go in there, poke him up, and then go eat dinner. So like, right when they called for dinner, his roommate was told to leave real quick. Like, just be ready. When the doors pop, just go and don't shut the door. So that's what he did. So then the other two guys went in there right away, pulled the blanket and sheet back because the dude was laying down in his bed trying to take a nap. And they went in there and stabbed him up. So I don't even think he ever even got a chance to wake up. And so they covered him back up. And then they left and went to chow. And so anyway, they told the roommate to take his time coming back, you know, don't be in a hurry. So when he got back, you know, he went in the room and shoot, he know in his head that he in the room with a dead body, you know. And so he is, everything is undiscovered until count time. So shift done changed and now it's count time. And this particular count was considered a moving count. A moving count is where they want you to be physically moving. They need to see you and all that. So like, you can't be up under the blanket and just talking to them. They want you to sit up and move your arm around, whatever. There's a story, there's a reason behind that. But anyway, so this dude wouldn't move, obviously, you know. And so when the guards are constantly telling him to move at the door, he won't move. So they call the shift commander. The shift commander comes there with other manpower, and they open the door. They do what's called a break deadlock. So they break deadlock, or they broke it, and then they went in there and they pulled the blanket and sheet back, and he dead. So that's in Arizona's prisons. A dead body in there is called a 925. So that's what they discovered, was a 925, whatever. So then they, you know, did an emergency count, locked the yard down and everything to start this investigation, you know. But I don't recall if anyone ever got discovered and got held accountable, but the Aryan Brotherhood down there was pretty wild. I remember there's one other story I'll tell y'all about this yard with the Aryan Brotherhood. These are just things that are popping up around the same amount of timeline, you know, while I was there. Well, this one dude, a white dude, he hit the yard And he kind of like joined the Aryan Brotherhood kind of like right away. And he was running around with them. He was getting tattoos. He was kind of like fighting and doing stuff that he was told to do, whatever. And so then it was time for him to get out. And this is like some years later, but it's time for him to get out. And so they're trying to tell him they're gonna have him, running some drugs from one location to another out there in the streets, so that the drugs can make it into the prison. And so he tried to be like, oh no, I'ma just be, a dedicated family man. And so he was basically gonna just quit the Aryan Brotherhood once he got out of prison. Like, what the? So anyway, they said, oh, okay, all right, yeah, that's good. They was like, all right, that's good. Yeah, go ahead, man, go out there and do your thing. So then they tell another youngster who's also recently joined, and he is trying to prove himself. So they tell him to go and kill this dude at lunch. So when it's lunchtime, the guy who's going home, he's in the line, and then the guy who's coming to kill him, he comes in the line, and he was told when you stab him up, like when you kill him in line. So anyway, he comes in and he's wiggling through the line. He's just cutting people. And at that time, the prison uniforms that were issued out to inmates wore blue jeans and jean jackets and like frosted blue t-shirts. And so anyhow, he had this weapon hidden, but the weapon that he had, it always throws me off when I remember this. The weapon that he had was, when you look at a storm window that goes, on your house, a storm window, and it holds the screen and that secondary glass that slides up and down. Well, all that aluminum that's along the edges, that builds that this dude had one of them. There's no windows like that in prison. There's no windows like that in prison at all. Like, how he got that in there, I don't even understand how he got that in there. Anyway, but so he cuts through the line, and he finally gets to him in line, and he stabs him a couple times or whatever. He stabs him like 2 or 3 times or something. And then the last time he stabbed him all the way through, so that aluminum was going through him and coming out of him. So it was 2 directions, like a kebab. And so anyway, the dude ran out of the dining hall, and right soon as you leave the dining hall, there's the lieutenant's office, and there's like a flight of like 4 steps that go up to this office, and so he ran up them steps and just collapsed on the steps. And then before they can deal with him, they have to lock the yard down. So they lock the yard down, and then they can start dealing with him and getting an ambulance coming and all that stuff, whatever. But by the time they got the yard locked down, he done bled out, so he died. So that dude died, and the kid who did it, he had a sentence that was like 2.5 years, if I remember right. He had 2.5 years. But him trying to prove his loyalty to those guys, he killed that guy and he got life. So when you're in there, what I'm saying, like I said, it's a person has to really be able to stand on their own and have some value about yourself. Like, you have to have some morals and a backbone, and what I'm saying, like stand up. Quit being scared of the fact that you in prison. Like, there's nothing in there, ain't no monsters in there, there's just other men. You know what I'm saying? Like, quit cowering down and worrying all the time. Like, he got a beard, oh, he got tattoos on his face. So what? Quit being worried about all that nonsense. Anyway, yeah, so people be joining these situations is my point, for protection. Don't do that. Don't do that on the streets either. And so, anyway, I'll come back on here and share something else. I got some more stories about that yard. Yeah, that was a crazy yard. I'll be back.